Hello everyone, and this is my WrestleMania 33 predictions. I've looked through the card, and there are 13 matches. 13 matches. That's going to be a lot of matches to go through. Now, granted, 3 of them are happening on the pre-show, 10 are happening on the main show. So, you got the 2 hours on the pre-show to do those 3, and then you have the 4... It's another 6-hour show. We'll just leave it at that. There's another 6-hour show, and then you're going to also be playing off the aspect of all of the like musical performances, because I think they have something from Pitbull and maybe Flo Rida as well. So they're going to put a lot of stuff in there, and like whatever other appearances they decide to do on WrestleMania this time around. So, but we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about the predictions for each of the matches. So, on the pre-show side, we'll start on each of the matches. I feel like I don't feel like, but will be on the pre-show, but have been kind of announced for that pre-show. And the first match is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. In the terms on the SmackDown side, they really haven't built much in the terms of a storyline outside of maybe a little bit of something between Dolph Ziggler and Mojo Rawley. More of this has been built over on Raw with everything, and like I said, SmackDown's kind of been there with that particular match. Where on Raw's side, you kind of have the whole aspect of Big Show going after his second, though I feel a little bit bad for... I do feel bad for Big Show on this one, because many are saying this is supposed to be like his last hurrah, and he got into great shape and everything. It was going to have this match with Shaq, and it was going to have like big press and everything to it. But then Shaq backed out of the particular match, and so he's in the Battle Royal now. The stuff with Braun Strowman and also with Sami Zayn as well. Those have been kind of the main focal points of this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, has been those sides. So I feel like the winners within there, and I feel like they're gonna have Braun Strowman go over here. I don't see any reason not to continually book him strong in any way, like he can, be a threat towards the title at some point in time, because you could probably put him and Brock Lesnar in a match, and it kind of would feel like, okay, this isn't just a match that Brock just wins at that point, which is going to be, spoiler alert for my prediction later on, if you haven't forgotten about that already. But my winner of this match is Braun Strowman. Up next, the Cruiserweight title match with Austin Aries and Neville. First of all, I'm saddened that this match is on the pre-show. Because the way they built it up, it felt like it was main show worthy for the Cruiserweight title match. But it will end up being on the pre-show or the kickoff show, whatever they call it now. This match... as much as I would like to see Austin Aries go over, I don't feel like it's time to end Neville's run with the Cruiserweight title. Neville, I feel like, goes over in this match. He goes over, and it would be... I feel like it would... And they can continue playing off the whole King of the Cruiserweights and everything in that sense. But I'm glad that they got a one-on-one match with the Cruiserweight title. I just wish it would have been on the main card for everything. But in the end, the Cruiserweight title's on the line at WrestleMania in some way. So they're finally, they're doing something more with it in that sense of everything. And hopefully they continue on doing well with this build-up of the Cruiserweights. I've been loving the Austin Aries Neville stuff. I've been, Neville since turning heel has been great. And Austin Aries is Austin Aries at this point. So I feel like Neville goes over in this match. Up next, and I'm gonna go off of what they have here, because for the SmackDown Women's Title match, because they've kind of been fully on announcing this as a 6-pack challenge match now. So it doesn't feel like anybody's gonna appear during the appear right before the match begins, so I don't, kind of leaves out the whole aspect of Asuka or an Eva Marie showing up in this match in any way. And like I said, so it ends up being Alexa Bliss going up against Becky Lynch, Natalya, Carmella, Mickie James, and Naomi, who returned on SmackDown just this week. So, you know, before they had Naomi relinquish the title after Elimination Chamber, in the aspect of her coming back right before WrestleMania, I feel that they're gonna put that belt back on her in some way, shape, or form. It's not like, as much as I would like to see Alexa Bliss go over and make her an even more credible threat as a champion by beating everybody here. I feel like they're going to put it on Naomi because that was what they were going for beforehand. Now, again, they could go with the Alexa Bliss route, but I feel like we'll see one of these titles change hands on the pre-show this time around. And I feel like, especially with the pop Naomi's been getting recently, she seems to be gaining momentum in the terms of being over with the crowd even more and more on SmackDown. I feel like Naomi will be that person that they have go over in this particular match. And that ends the kickoff matches, or the pre-show matches. So this goes into the main card now. On the main card, we're going to start off with Gallows and Anderson going up against Enzo and Cass and Sheamus and Cesaro. And guess what they announced? They didn't announce it on Raw, but they announced it later. It's going to be a ladder match. Why not? You have all these guys attacking everyone else with ladders. You might as well make it a ladder match in this one. This match, outside of the whole aspect that the ladders have been introduced now and they try to really amp up its importance on Monday Night Raw, has kind of not been, it didn't have that important feel to it. They've done a little bit better. Like Monday did a good job of setting up this match a little bit more and everything. And just based off of how I feel like it's gonna go, I feel like Enzo and Cass win this match. They finally win a set of tag team titles. It's time. People have been swaying back and forth whether or not they really care about Enzo and Cass because they're not that great as faces. At this point, they're better off since they've gotten away from Rusev and Lana in that sense of everything. But like, people were kind of swaying away from them because like, these guys really aren't acting as faces. Like, I get that Enzo's supposed to be brash and smack talking, but you can be a face and still do that, and still do things like that to go along with it. Sheamus and Cesaro, I don't know how much longer they're going to continue on with this particular tag team. In some way, they may even make this as a catalyst to having them break up as a tag team at some point in time. Who knows on that sense, but I feel that this match, with the aspect of it being a ladder match and everything, I feel like this has the potential of being pretty good. And everything at this point in time. But I feel like Enzo and Cass finally get one over and they kind of get their moment, and they finally get that moment to win the tag team titles. Up next is Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin. And how this match is not a street fight or a no DQ match in some way, shape, or form, I don't know. Because Baron Corbin, to get this Intercontinental title match, literally tried to kill Dean Ambrose. How is this not a no DQ match? Well, the build that they've done with Baron Corbin and Dean Ambrose, that's been relatively good. It's been relatively good. The match itself, not being a no DQ or a street fight or something in that sense, is kind of takes away from it a little bit. But the aspect of the Intercontinental title being on the line is like, cool, the Intercontinental title's on the line. And it's not a multi-man ladder match. It's a one-on-one. What the heck? They actually put some importance behind the Intercontinental title. And I feel, in this case, that Baron Corbin's going to go over. The way they've been booking Baron Corbin on SmackDown has been really well done. Been really, really well done. Wait, I feel like a sneeze is about to come. And there we go. But the way they've been booking him, he's kind of like their residential badass heel. And it's like he doesn't care. He doesn't really run away from a fight, but he doesn't he doesn't really garner a lot of fanfare for not running away either, in that sense of everything. And I've been enjoying the stuff that he and Dean have been putting together between the two of them, because they've kind of been ramping up the intensity. Like, Dean's been ramping up the intensity a little bit, throwing a joke in here every now and again, but being more intense about this particular match. But I feel Baron Corbin goes over in this one, and they're going to continue on building him up to be even bigger than where he was before, which, you know, considering where he had started after coming up to the main roster, where he wasn't really doing much of anything. Once the brand split happened, he's kind of shined on SmackDown, and then given that chance to, and it's kind of worked. Up next is John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice. Oh man, the promos that this program has delivered have been great, and it's almost to a shockingly good aspect behind it, that these promos have been as good as they've been going into this match. As the match itself, I feel John and Nikki are going over in this one. Now for the aspect, there's no reason, like the way that they've been, like the whole thing's been coming off, that there should be a reason for Miz and Maurice to go over in this match in any way. If you feel like it's strictly like, yeah, John and Nikki go over in this match, I'm sure they'll make it look good to a certain degree, but in the end, John Cena and Nikki Bella go over in this match. Now, does John propose to Nikki afterwards? Who knows what they're going to do with that. More than likely, they would do that after the match to go along with everything, just to have something else to that particular thing. And like with the lead up that they've been doing, the whole aspect of like, well, a lot of the women have been feuding with Nikki Bella, saying like he'll never marry you, everything in that sense. It kind of leads to that particular event happening after this match. In some way, shape, or form. At least that's how I feel, how it's going to end up going. Up next is Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. And man, this build's been good. The build between Jericho and Kevin Owens has been good since Kevin Owens had turned on Chris Jericho a while back, right before facing Goldberg. And the whole aspect of how they built this up is like, Kevin Owens saying, I was never Chris Jericho's best friend. He was just a pawn, and everything in that sense. Destroying the list of Jericho one week to go along with everything, and just everything they've done, promo wise and like interaction wise, has been really good. And you know what they've done as well? Their interactions have been mainly brawls. No, like, random tag matches like they did with Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns' feud, where they were, like, in tag matches and one-on-one matches leading up into WrestleMania. You only had, like, the one tag match. The only real one time that they've seen them interact in a match, when they had Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe to go along with everything. So you had Jericho and Zayn and Owens and Joe. So that's been the only time that they've had a potential for interacting in a match. Like, that's been like the big downfall of any of the Kevin Owens Jericho stuff recently. Like, whoever they're feuding with, they have tons of tag matches. They even have one-on-one matches with them going into the actual pay-per-view match itself. This one leaves you a little bit more excited because you only seen really the one tag match in some way, shape, or form. The winner of the match, Kevin Owens. I've got to go with Kevin Owens because at least how a lot of talks have been going is that Jericho's going to leave for a few months after Mania, and he's doing something with Fozzy, and then come back a few months later. So getting that U.S. title off of him would probably be the best way of going at this point in time, at least how I feel. And the way they built it as well, Kevin Owens going with the U.S. title wouldn't be a bad thing to go along with it. So Kevin Owens is my victor and getting the United States title. Up next to talk about is the Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax Fatal 4-Way elimination match. First of all, when they announced it as a Fatal 4-Way elimination match on Monday night, I was like, now I'm a little bit more intrigued. It's like, now I'm a little bit more intrigued about this match to go along with it. Because I expected it to be a good match right off the get-go. But the aspect of them adding the elimination rule to it, I think is a good way of going for that one, and they can play off of certain things and potentially set up for other feuds down the line here. Because I don't feel like they're gonna have Charlotte Flair, and you're not gonna have Charlotte and Bayley kind of feuding for much longer, because you feel like that's gonna go towards Sasha and Bayley, and maybe they're gonna do something with Nia Jax and Charlotte as well. I mean, they really, outside of Alicia Fox, all the other women that were quote-unquote drafted to Raw, are, the other ones are kind of out injured, and Lana's not necessarily doing much wrestling yet in the terms of in-ring stuff. So, the way I feel like this is going to go, they're going to have Charlotte Flair. I think that they either have Nia or Charlotte go out first. You could play the whole aspect that they eliminate Nia first based off of the whole, all three of them end up teaming up against her and get rid of Nia that way. Then I feel like they're going to have, this is kind of where it goes, because I feel like it's either ending with Bayley and Sasha or Bayley and Charlotte. And the way that I'm seeing it, I feel that they're going to end it with Bayley and Sasha, with Sasha going over in this case. And they can lead this as a catalyst. It's like, okay, they can lead this as the catalyst of like Bayley's chasing the title when Sasha turns heel. She doesn't turn, I don't feel like she turns heel in the actual match itself. It happens elsewhere. Either happens the next night on Raw, or it happens down the line in some way, shape, or form. But they'll have Bayley chasing the title as the babyface and Sasha as the heel champion. So I feel like it comes down to the two of them, with Sasha going over at that point in time. So obviously I'm going with Sasha Banks at that to go along with it. They could turn Sasha heel in this match by having certain interactions go down during the match and making her turn heel that way. I just don't feel like they'll do it during the match. Or they have, like, there's also that potential of Bayley going over, and that will be the reason for Sasha to go heel and turn on Bayley, is because she wasn't able to get the title from her at that point in time. But I feel like they'll have Sasha turn heel at a different time, win the match at Mania, turn heel on Bayley, and Bayley chases heel Sasha at that point to go along with it. Up next is Shane McMahon going up against AJ Styles. This is an intriguing match because, like, even Styles has been promoting in that way. It's like, Shane doesn't have the whole aspect of a street fighter, everything in that sense. So he can't just, like, send him through tables or, like, use trash can lids or chairs or anything to hit him with. It's just going to be a match. So it'll be interesting to see how they book this one. I feel like they could do a really good job. Shane has proven that he's still athletic enough to do a lot of things inside of the ring. And AJ Styles has been, well, AJ Styles inside of the ring since he's been in the WWE, and well, for quite a long time as well, for people who hadn't watched them beforehand. As for who goes over in this match, you can't put Shane over in this match. You really can't. You gotta put over AJ Styles. You gotta make him look really, really good in this match and put him over in this match in some way, shape, or form. And I just don't see a scenario that makes both of them look good, but Shane comes out as the victor. There's a way of making them both look good in the match, and AJ wins. But I don't see a scenario that makes AJ look good still, and Shane going over this match. So AJ Styles is my pick for this one. Up next is Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. And again, another intriguing matchup, because where are they going to go with this? There's a lot of talk about this being Undertaker's last match. there's a lot of talk that there's just a lot of talk about this one in the terms of it being potentially Undertaker's last match. Kind of like every year though, with that one, but like it feels more so this year that this is gonna be his last match. The build-up has been relatively good. The stuff with Undertaker in the graveyard and Roman Reigns on Monday Night Raw was really good, I thought, at least in my own personal opinion. And it came off rather well. Now, as for the match itself, it's all going to be dependent because it's all going to be dependent on how much the Undertaker can move around and do anything. Because at the Rumble, he didn't really have to do too much. Coming into here, he hadn't had to really do too much in any way. It's an aspect of how much can he do in the ring and how much Roman Reigns can try to carry Undertaker to a good match. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I don't know if this match is going to be good in any way. Like the hype around it has kind of gotten me excited for the match, but the match itself could fall as a dud in some way, shape, or form. And oddly enough here, if they book this right, it could be done really, really well. If they book it wrong, it could just be a dud of a match and it doesn't really do much of anything. I'm picking Roman Reigns to win this match. I am a huge Undertaker fan. He's my favorite character of all time. But I feel like this needs to be the last one. He's given so much. He's given so much to the fans and to that company. We don't need every last bit of it. And like to the point right now, I kind of hope this is the last match. And he will put Roman Reigns over. Now, if they book it right, they put Roman Reigns over, but they make him a heel afterwards. Like, it's not like a short-term heel thing. It's like long-term heel to go along with it. Like, he has to do something dastardly to win this match or something in that way. And book him as a heel for a little while afterwards. Because, like, he's come off heelish during these promos, and those promos have actually come off better than what most people have seen from him as a face. He's been getting better on the microphone. Let's not lie. Like, I know a lot of people don't like Roman and everything in that sense because they feel like he's being shoved down their throats. He's good in the ring. Now, can he carry a great match? I don't think so yet. But he's good enough in the ring to the point that he's had great matches. And his promo skills have been getting better. So, okay. They have been in that sense. And I feel like if they book him as a heel here and have him be just like a badass heel for a while, then then, you know, it will become fine. It will be booked well and everything in that sense. If it's just Roman Reigns goes over and he's back to being babyface again, then it's going to come off kind of as a dud in that case. But I am going with Roman Reigns in this one to win this particular match. Sorry, I've got something in my throat while this is going on. So I've been trying to clear my throat throughout this entire time while I've been talking to go along with it. Up next, though, is Seth Rollins going up against Triple H in that non-sanctioned match. That's probably going to have a referee, and he's going to try to enforce rules, but there's no reason to enforce rules in this match. Man, the way they've been building this, I see no other way than Seth Rollins going over in this match. Mainly because Triple H seems to like to put over people at WrestleMania. In some way. He's been putting people over at WrestleMania for years. Like, he would lose in main events. He would sometimes win them, but for the most part, like, he lost to Cena. He lost to Batista. He lost to a bunch of... he lost to Orton a while back. Then he won against Orton as well to go along with it, but also his matches with Undertaker to go along with that. Like, putting people over. Daniel Bryan, for example, as well. He put him over. And then Roman Reigns last year as well. I feel like he's going to put over Seth Rollins in this one. in this match. Like, how good would the match be? It all depends on what Seth Rollins can do. Because with that knee injury a couple months ago, he had recently been cleared for the interactions that he's been doing with Triple H. But what are they going to do here with this match? I feel like they're going to make this a little bit overbooked. I feel like Samoa Joe gets in this match somewhere, gets in the way of this match somehow, and that will probably bring somebody else to come out in the match and help out Seth Rollins as well. Who that ends out being would probably be Sami Zayn at that point in time. Like, he's the only other person who's kind of been interacting with Joe in any way, so maybe you get to see Sami Zayn come out and help out Seth Rollins or something in a sense. But I feel they're going to overbook this a little bit and have Seth go over in the end. Like, I don't see a scenario that's actually any good with Triple H going over in this particular match. Yeah, Seth Rollins for this match. This brings us to Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Reason why I'm not doing this one last, because it's actually not, like, when I went on WWE.com, it's not even billed as the top billed match. That's actually Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton to go along with it, with the WWE title. So there's maybe a chance that this match doesn't go on last. Who knows? In that sense of everything. But who knows how they're going to do that one. I feel like they would end this show with this particular match. Now for the match itself. Brock Lesnar wins. Brock Lesnar wins this match. It's just going to be a matter of how long does this match last. I don't see this match lasting too long. Anyway, do I see it lasting another minute 26 or 21 seconds or something in that sense? No. I don't see that. I don't see that in any way, shape, or form for this particular match. So I would have to say it's probably going to go 5-10 minutes. 5-10 minutes, and hopefully better than the WrestleMania 20 match to go along with it. Go along with that one. So, like, hopefully there's not just like a whole bunch of stare downs and everything in that sense before everything gets going. And hopefully they give us a bit of a better show than they did at WrestleMania 20. I know it's 13 years later, but you never know. They might be able to pull something good out of this one. And see how they end up booking this match in general. So, but Brock Lesnar wins this match. I have no real thoughts about the other way where Goldberg wins and stays Universal Champion. They're going to put that title on Brock. At least that's how I feel. Now this brings me to Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. And man, did this get creepy and quick. Did this match get creepy and quick? That escalated quickly. It was like Randy Orton goes from I am your servant and you are the master and I will not fight you at WrestleMania to the next week burning down his house. Wow, that did escalate quick. This match, just the way that they've been going with this one, it seems like Bray feels like he has everything in his hands now. He now has the WWE title. He had Randy Orton by his side, and everything was going great. And then Randy Orton burns down the Wyatt compound, saying he was going to destroy Sister Abigail's soul and everything in that sense. And then Bray Wyatt gets one over, saying like, now you've made me more powerful and everything to go along with it. To this week where Orton's like, well, I'm going to take this symbol that you laid next to me and I'm going to drive it into the ground, going after Sister Abigail's soul again and trying to burn it and destroy it and trying to take away the power that you have obtained from this one going into this match. Like I said, they've gone on a creepy story for this one. I've been intrigued by it, and I wish they would have had more time. They would have built this up over more time, because it feels like there's other bits of the story that they could put in there to make it fully make sense. Now, this is what they could do. They could just have Randy Orton go over, win the match with one RKO, and win the WWE title, and you have him going over. Or what I'm predicting, since it feels like Orton's kind of gotten one up on Bray on every single turn, that Bray Wyatt goes over. And that the era of Wyatt continues going past WrestleMania. That they don't make him just a transitional champion on the aspect of getting him against Randy Orton at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania to go along with it. And in every sense of the word. Like, you can have Orton still chasing Bray, but Bray ends out winning in the end. I'm going with Bray Wyatt. I feel like the way that they've been doing this and everything, Bray Wyatt goes over in this match in the end and keeps the WWE title to go along with it, to make him seem more important, seem like a bigger star and everything in that sense of it. But like I said, they could just end that whole aspect of it by Orton winning the match. They could do that. But I'm going to go with the aspect that they're going to put Bray over. They're going to try to put him over even more. And why not have him go over one of your bigger stars at WrestleMania and defending the title? I'm just going with that. I'm just going with that. Could I be wrong on that one? Yeah, I could be wrong on that one. No, I could be wrong in a lot of these other areas because I could see many other scenarios working out in these matches, such as the match with the six-pack challenge with the women's title match, the Raw women's title match. I could see other scenarios. Same with Roman Reigns and the Undertaker match. I could see other scenarios happening to go along with it. Otherwise, I feel like this match, and as well with this match, I could see other scenarios where, yeah, Orton goes over. I see those scenarios. But I feel like the scenario, I'm going with the scenario that I feel like would be best. And that is, so I'm going more with my heart than I am with my brain. I feel like Orton probably goes over, but I'm going with Bray. I'm going with Bray Wyatt in this match, and that he goes over and keeps the WWE title going after WrestleMania. So, with that being said, that is all 13 matches. Jeez, that's going to be a lot of matches. That is going to be a lot of matches for WrestleMania. And those are my predictions for all of those matches at WrestleMania this year. I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that show. I hope you enjoyed me doing this prediction show as well. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.